Good morning. This is Sarah, your healthy carnivore in the UK. Much happier than yesterday, much more chilled. Yesterday, I was still reeling from Boxing Day and the events of just seeing my mother-in-law and father-in-law in such a big state. If you don't know me, I found carnivore back in 2014. Had a bumpy journey, and then just over 5 months ago, decided I'm doing it forever, never ever going back, never going to be bumpy or scenic ever again. So that's my journey in a nutshell. But today I want to talk about inflammation and how it supposedly, and it seems to be true, prevents weight loss. If you want to hear this said by someone who can explain it way better than me, pop into my description below and there's a link to the video that I watched this morning that really sort of cemented my feelings that I've had recently over inflammation and how it can stop weight loss, and how there are some people that really do need to dial down their foods into a small group of foods, and for some people even lower than that. And it turns out I'm one of those people. And so I've been, over the last few days, just arguing with myself and toying with myself whether to do a very, very, very ultra strict form of carnivore diet known as the lion diet for a while, or whether to stay mixed carnivore with potentially inflammatory foods in there and not lose any weight at all. And this is the argument I've been having with myself for quite a while. About 18 months is how long I've known that I can lose weight on Lion, but never really understood why, never really understood it until I saw this video this morning. So pop in the description if you are here specifically because you saw my thumbnail and you're interested in how inflammation stops weight loss. Check that out. The lady in the video it's not a very long video. It's about 20 minutes. And the second half, she goes through the 7 reasons why, if your body is inflamed and reacting to something, it can halt weight loss. And I do now firmly believe, I'm going to test the theory out, basically. I'm going to test out the theory. Now, I started realizing that I could only lose weight on Lion about 18 months ago. Do you know, I'm someone that struggles to get the weight off. If you know me for a long time, you know that I've done 5 months of Lion and no, 5 months of mixed carnivore eating. No dairy, but mixed carnivore. And it would appear that, well, I've lost about 14 pounds in that time. I've gone from 217 to 203 in that 5 months. Whoopie-doo. And most of that was just a little bit of water weight and what I believe to be a bit of visceral fat. And so I have had a load of health benefits. I've nearly lost all my skin tags. I'm covering this one up this morning because it's starting to go dark. And I started to lose my skin tags at day 86. We're now on day 160. And I think, probably as a result of the Lion diet, it's starting to die off and come off. So I'm covering it up and there'll be a big reveal when I am skin tag free. But 18 months ago, I did maybe about 2 to 3 months of carnivore in one go. And I actually managed to get down to 10 pounds less than what I was a week ago, right? I managed to get down to 193 pounds. And that was as a result of trying to do Lion. I'm not the great Lion diet specialist yet because I can never do it for long enough. I find it very tight. I'm just not ready mentally to just eat beef, salt and water. So now I'm telling myself, how long can you go? What's your hard? Choose your hard. We've all heard the expression, choose your hard, right? And I just looked up to see how long I've been doing because I wanted to check that I'm actually recording this because I think it's going quite well. I'm going to mention Dr. Kiltz in a minute in terms of some disappointment that I had last night. Crushing 2 things happened in the last couple of days that made me think I may need to go longer on the Lion diet than 21 days. And I'm going to tell you what those things were. So inflammation, back to inflammation just for a second. Lots of foods can cause inflammation for people, particularly things like seed oils and stuff like that. But I'm not having any of those things. But for some people, chicken can inflame people. Pork can. Dairy can. Also, even things like egg whites. Egg yolks seem to be fine for people, but egg whites can inflame people. And there are other people in the carnivore community who have said the same thing as me. Kerry from Homestead How is one of them. He said he only lost weight when he was doing lion. So there is something about inflammation that some people are more sensitive to inflammation than others. Don't let this video put you off if you are new and considering carnivore. If you've made it this far into the video and you're still hanging on to it, most people lose loads of weight eating all of the carnivore foods. I know plenty of people who have lost weight eating all of the cheeses and the double creams, heavy creams, and all of the animals, all of the fish. Even people that have managed to lose weight with sweeteners. I'm not saying that that's something that we should do, because it keeps our sugar tooth alive and it's not really carnivore. But if you are getting all the health results you want with all of those things, who the hell are we to tell you not to do that? But for me, it would appear that I am somebody who has to dial it right down, and not just down to mixed carnivore. I need to dial it right down to lion. Beef, lamb, salt, water, done. So let's talk about the two things that made me think I may need to start choosing my heart. Two things. Because I find doing lion hard, but not doing lion means disappointment, not losing weight, still being unhealthy, being left behind. That is reality. So over the last 18 months, I've kind of had this battle going on in my head. Do I do mixed and just stay the same? Or do I do the hard thing of lion, but have the weight losses? Okay. And that kind of plays in my mind. And one of the biggest reasons I have fallen off the weight, off the carnivore train in the past, is because I get frustrated. And I know that I'm going to have to do lion, and I just can't bring myself to do it. I'm just a human living in a food environment. I live with 3 carb addicts. Well, one's keto at the moment, but how long's that going to last? He's done that before and stopped. I work in a school. I've had to change my school to get away from the food environment. So, I could beat myself up, or I could just say, right, moving forward, what's the plan? 2025 could actually be my year if I make the right plan. Okay. Now, what were my 2 things that made me think I need to do lion for as long as possible? Next Christmas, by the way, I'm not planning to be lion. I'm planning to have lost so much weight in 2025 that I can eat all the things next Christmas. But let's focus on how we're going to do that and what triggered it. 2 things. One, a couple of photographs were taken of me on Christmas Day with my family. And despite having been on a kind of mixed carnivore diet, no dairy, by the way, no sweeteners, no dairy, no seed oils, nothing, I still look the same as last Christmas. I'm the only one with brisket. I would have actually cried if I'd made this video yesterday, but I've calmed down and I've got my lion head on. In the photo, as per bloody usual, I was the only one overweight, everyone else normal weight. They've all got their dinner of mixed things, all of the Christmas things. I'm sat there with just beef brisket on my plate, the only one overweight. That cut me up for about 48 hours. Not happy about that. I'm the only one in the house who's been eating correctly for the last 5 months, and I'm the one that looks the same as last year when I was eating crap. So that was really cutting. That was really, that hurt. I'm not going to lie. That hurt. Okay. I realise this is going a little bit away from my thumbnail, which is why I've put a really brilliant video in the description. So those of you that are still hanging on, that are just hoping for more information on inflammation, you probably won't get it here, because I'm now going to talk about my emotional experience over Christmas. And so if you want more information on how inflammation stops weight loss, pop in the description, watch that video instead. If you still want to hear about my kind of 2 things. So the first thing was that realization of that photograph that I am still the overweight one in the family, despite 5 months of doing what other people would lose weight doing. I've seen so many people over the last 10 years lose weight doing what I've done over the last 5 months. And seeing that photo made me think I need to do more. I need to do more. What else can I do? The other massive crashing disappointment, and it's lingered from last night. You won't believe this. Last night, I got an email from the lovely Alia Wells. I'm not sure if it's Alia or Alia. I think it's Alia. Saying, Dr. Kiltz would like to invite you for a 5 a.m. special because we've seen that you've been doing carnivore for 10 years and we think with that amount of dedication, you might have something to show his audience. Yes. I turned it down, obviously. I had to explain to her that my 10-year journey was completely and utterly scenic and that I've only been committed for 5 months. Sometimes 5 months seems like a really long time, but last night it felt like 5 minutes. And that cut me up as well. And I'm thinking, there is something I can try. There is something I can do. Thankfully, that thing isn't intermittent fasting, though possibly that might work, but that leaves me vulnerable to hunger. And going back to work in January and February, I would rather just stay the same weight than risk going through that hunger and then falling off the wagon. And fasting isn't overly recommended for women, especially women with hormonal problems. So I'm thinking the best way is to feast on beef, and see if I can get the same results as last summer when I got to 10 pounds less than what I was when I broke up from work, and see how many days. At the point of getting to that weight, I'm then going to take it meal by meal, day by day, week by week, for as long as I can stand it. I'm making no promises. I'm certainly not doing Lion forever. But it would appear that my body is one of those ultra hypersensitive bodies. It wasn't 10 years ago. The first time I found carnivore, I was doing all kinds of keto nonsense with sweeteners and the weight just fell off me. But clearly, fast forward 10 years, my body's now like, I'm not putting up with that shit anymore. If you want to lose weight, you have to do Lion. You've already worked this out and now it's a battle of wills. Choose your hard. You've now got 2 choices. Eat all the mixed carnivore things, stay the same weight, potentially be that same weight in 6 months' time. Or do Lion, which is a bit more restrictive, but in 6 months' time, potentially looking and feeling awesome. It may not go that way, but that's how it looks like it's going to go. I might get to 6 months of Lion and not lose all that weight, but I feel like I'm on that precipice. You know that precipice I was on where I was on and off carnivore? Now I've put myself on another kind of place where I'm on and off Lion. Knowing it's the right thing to do, got a really strong feeling it's absolutely what I need to do, but I'm fighting it. I need to remind myself that I'm not doing Lion forever. On family vacations and Christmas, I can eat all of the things, even cheese, but I need to do Lion for as many days as humanly possible to get my body in a state of complete anti-inflammatory state, and so the body can release the fat. Add on to that the fact that I do have 5 months of what my body is probably considered to be dirty keto. It hasn't been dirty keto, but my body thinks it's been in dirty keto because it didn't like one of the things. Worst case scenario, if I do stop, only introduce one thing. So the plan at the moment, here's my plan going forward into 2025. Do Lion diet for as long as I can stand it. And if it gets really bad, just reintroduce one food. Choose your favorite and go with that. Let's go with pork belly, for example. Reintroduce that. Keep an eye on the scales. What happens? Does it stop? Then you know that pork is inflammatory to you. This all might sound like a load of rubbish, but at the moment, these 2 little events over the last couple of days have really... I try not to be bothered by the fact that I'm the one that doesn't lose weight, but it hurts now and then. Especially, I mean, my good friend and carnivore brother, George Goodenough, talks about the miracle happening for him. But I think we can only really help people when the weight comes down because people can't see the other health benefits I have so many health benefits from being mixed carnivore. It's unbelievable. You know, no plantar fasciitis, no gastritis, no psoriasis, reverse prediabetes, no more varicose veins, no anxiety and depression. Just, I can't think of all of them right now because they're on a piece of paper somewhere. Also hope for the future. But other people can't see those things in me. When I'm walking around, people don't know that I had plantar fasciitis and how painful it was. They don't know that I had gastritis and how debilitating that was, and how sometimes I couldn't leave the house because of diarrhea. They don't see the psoriasis on my scalp that was there and in my groin that was there because it's covered up. They don't see those things. People only see weight, and they've been kind of programmed to only see weight, which is a shame. My mother-in-law can only see what somebody weighs. She's about 91 years old. I can't remember how old she is, but she's in her 90s now. When she looks at people, she studies their weight. I know she studies mine. She's given up moaning about it. But I know I cannot help people until the weight's down. How much longer? And I genuinely think that doing a nice, decent stretch of lying is going to get me off this plateau. Who knows? I may even hit full fat adaptation during that time and then lose weight doing mixed, but I need to do the lion for as long as I can. I'm off to the butcher's in a minute to get some more fatty beef. My car's blocked in, so I'm going to have to get that car moved that's over there. We haven't got a big driveway, but there is a car in the way. So I'm just going to probably jump in that. I'll jump in that and go and get my beef. Just talking out loud now, making plans for the day. I'm also going to see my brother today, who has quit keto carnivore for Christmas. I don't know when he stopped. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I'm guessing that where he now works, he's now got a job because he's been doing keto carnivore. He couldn't work before. His depression was so bad he couldn't work before. So he's done keto carnivore, managed to get himself a job. He's going to lose that job if he keeps eating the sugar. And I'm going to remind him of that when I go around there. I was kind of hoping to interview him, but until he starts doing his own research, he's got a why. His why is seriously strong, but his research is lacking. As George Goodenough said in one of his videos, he's done 2 videos so far. Check out George Goodenough on his channel. He's done 2 videos. And the first thing, he's talking about the pillars of community, and he's absolutely spot on. And I'm going to do a similar video. You need 3 things to succeed in carnivore: a strong why, research, and community. Without those things, I've probably heard of people that probably could do it without those things, but they're in such a minority. I know there is, but no, because even people making videos are still using that as community, and they're still researching other videos. Those pillars are essential. Mitch from Old Guy Carnivore, he says that without having all these lives, I mean, imagine what Mitch from Old Guy Carnivore's life would be like for him if he didn't have his YouTube channel. It would be so lonely. He'd have to go back to eating sugar and carbs and go and meet up with his mates around the pool and eat and drink the cocktails, because he would have very little social life. This is a downside of carnivore. You do have to find a community and keep in contact with them. Yesterday morning, I was really feeling isolation because I had 2 days without a video, and it really, so I did a live. The live was a complete disaster. Don't bother going on there. The sound packed up halfway through. I actually swore at the beginning of one of them. So this is really not, I just went on there because I just wanted to connect up with some carnivore people so that I wouldn't feel alone. And I wanted to moan about how everyone was making my cooking pan messy with cooking onions in there. What I need is 2 months in the sun. My family might wake up tomorrow and discover that actually I'm not at home and my passport has also gone, and I'm now in Portugal for 2 months because I need the sun. You know, if you've got sun where you are, lap it up, because we have none and we haven't had any for weeks, and we're not due any for weeks. It is miserable as hell. Cannot wait for March. Can't come soon enough for me. So anyway, yeah, this whole inflammation thing, really interesting. I've known for a while that I seem to only lose weight on Lion, didn't really understand why. Had my suspicions that it was an inflammation thing, started to get suspicious of that. Saw it this morning and thought, I think some people just react to some foods in a way that others don't. Some of us are in different levels of healing. Some people are just more sensitive to other foods. If you are someone that doesn't lose weight on carnivore, you may discover you lose it on Lion. If you're not getting the health results you want, you may discover you'll get it on Lion. I'm on Lion. I'm going to the butcher in a minute. And I must say, my butcher has actually offered to create me some burgers. They did have some burgers pre-prepared. And before you say, do it yourself, it just never comes out right. The mince that I buy just isn't right. But they had some burgers that were made out of their own mince and they looked incredible. And I did ask them what was in them, and they did say there was some pepper in there. And they said, but we can, you know, if you put an order in, we can make you whatever you want. If you want us to make you some burgers with just our fatty beef and salt, we'll do it. And I was like, I will then. So I'm going to order some of those today. So I'm going to buy any fatty beef they've got today in the form of mince. Might treat myself to some lamb chops because I can, and because my body will love it. And then I'm going to order some of their burgers. And I don't care how much it costs. I don't care how much it costs. I want to start losing weight. I've obviously had my monthly cycle over the last few days, which is, so there have been no weigh-ins. But on the 9th of January, there will be my 21-day Lion, bolt it all together, thing. And as soon as I finish this, I'm going to do another little section of that and tap it onto what I've already done. So look forward to being able to release those results on the 9th of Jan. It finishes on the 8th. Well, the day I promised to finish was the 8th. On the 9th, I'll be then putting out the video all together. This is what happened to me on 21 Days of Lion. And basically, am I going to continue, yes or no? So thank you for listening. I've talked for over 20 minutes. I'm going to watch this video again, probably every morning I wake up, because I think it will help me motivate myself. If you've managed to get this far, don't forget to pop into my description and watch this other video on this lady. I mean, she does talk about different variety of foods, but the thing she's mostly said is seed oils. That is the thing to absolutely quit. Well, I've done that. But for some people, you know, if you look at Michaela Peterson, for example, she gets inflamed on anything other than fresh beef. So there are some people that just need to go to that to get the health and the looks and the weight and the vibrancy that they're looking for. So that's what I'm going for. Though I say that now, don't I? When I'm back at work, who knows what's going to happen? But I know that I've got to take it day by day, hour by hour, meal by meal. Try not to think any further forward than a day or two. Because there is that little gremlin that's going to pop up on my shoulder and say, are you doing this forever? No, I'm doing it for as long as I can stand it. Because I don't want another photograph next Christmas of me being the only overweight one in the house. That's been me forever. Ever. And it's got to stop. Because I can't do it anymore. So if you get any sun, go out and get it. If you've got any meat, eat it. If you've got any water, drink it. And just thrive the best way you can. If you're not carnivore and you're starting on the 1st, that's cool. We're all over 18. We can all do what we want. I have to be this strict because I am so done with being done. And I will see you tomorrow. And today is, I didn't even say what day I was on. It's 160 today. I'll see you tomorrow on day 161. You take care of yourself and I'll see you soon. Thank you for listening. Bye.